Hi, Morgan. How are you? Thank you so much for coming on the Thrival Nutrition podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. Today we're going to be talking about optimizing our body to for a good preconception because everyone kind of starts planning when they want to have a family. But first of all, just start off with who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a chiropractor in South Austin. I practice with my husband, and I really only see pregnant patients and then pediatric as well. So I love working with moms after going through my pregnancy with my son and just seeing, the benefit of nutrition and chiropractic and just a healthy lifestyle, how that plays a role in the birth and the delivery. I really just wanted to work with moms more, and so now that's really all I do.
That's awesome. I feel like when you become a mom, you kind of start to get that love for moms
Yeah,
and what we do because I work with women and moms, families mostly,
yeah,
because I don't know, you live it and then you just kind of want to help them.
exactly. Yeah.
So as we talk about optimizing our bodies, we'll start off with diet because that plays a big role. You and I
Mhm.
both know that. So how can we optimize for preconception with diet, and what nutrients is there we should be looking for specifically?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great question that a lot of women are kind of lost with because there's so much information on the internet that maybe isn't gearing them to the right direction, or they don't really know what to believe. And I think preconception is a huge part of the pregnancy that people miss. And so when we talk about optimizing your body for pregnancy, you have to think that you're going to spend the next 9 months growing and nourishing this baby. And so your body is really a vessel, and it has to be, clean, toxin free, and fueled properly. And so I always tell my moms, plan 4 to 6 months, 3 to 6 months, depending on where your level of health is before you get pregnant, to really focus on prepping your body. A big thing that I really focus on is during that time frame before pregnancy, remove all the toxins that you have maybe started accumulating. And that's toxins in the form of food, it's toxins in the form of medication, birth control, anything like that. That's going to interfere with your body's ability to do what it's supposed to do as far as reproduction and then obviously getting pregnant and maintaining a good pregnancy. So I like my moms to be off of birth control for about 4 to 6 months before they get pregnant, to really flush all of those hormones out of their body. And then utilizing different nutrition and supplementation and things like that to help, get that stuff out of your body is a really good place to start. So what I like my moms to focus on is 80% of their plate should really be green leafy vegetables, any type of vegetable or fruit that's going to be nourishing. So if you think of 80% of your plate as that's really not going to leave much room for like your starchy carbs, your breads, your pastas, things like that, which really shouldn't be on the plate.
Right.
But, it happens. So if you can think 80% of that is the vegetables and the fruit, then that's going to leave 20% for good quality protein and good quality fats. And I think fats are highly overlooked, especially for preconception, because they're nourishing the nervous system and that's going to control everything in your body. You need those healthy fats. And so that's one of the big pieces that I like my moms to start having is the good healthy fats. Having the high amount of veggies is really going to help your body detoxify any junk that you're coming in contact with. I'm not like a detox person. I don't really like promote like, oh, do this 10-day cleanse. I think those are great, but it's not like part of my protocol or whatever. I think that just balance and moderation and consistently focusing on daily eating, a good amount of vegetables, a good amount of good quality protein and fats, that's going to be the best way to slowly cleanse your body of toxins and build up and things like that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you saying, starting, giving yourself like 3 to 6 months before.
Yeah.
Because I know people that just hop off birth control and they want to start trying that month. And
Yeah.
honestly, a lot of the major development in the nervous system is done before you even find out you're pregnant.
Exactly. Yeah.
So sometimes it's just like, okay, you find out you're pregnant, you want to start taking, the extra folate and all this stuff. But I'm like, actually, it's kind of already done. It's not done, but there's still a lot more to go. But
Right.
a big important part of it is. So I
Yeah.
definitely agree with starting a protocol for pregnancy, like
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, exactly. And like prenatals are another thing is like a lot of women get on their prenatal vitamins before they're pregnant. And I think that's really smart too. But being wise with which prenatal you're taking, that's a huge thing. Um, and some things to look for, just so people know, is like look at the source of folate, whether it's folic acid, whether it's methylfolate. Look at your source of B12, whether it's methylcobalamin or cyanocobalamin. You want to gear towards the methylated products. You want to stay away from the synthetic stuff. I think that's a really important thing to start before you actually do get pregnant.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any other nutrients that are really important with the development of a fetus?
Yeah, I would say like to kind of go off of the fats thing, your good quality fats, so that's your omegas, so EPA and DHA, those are gonna be found like in fish oil. I personally love cod liver oil. We use Carlson's brand for my family. That's something that we really like. And I think that's something that's missing from our diet because we really don't eat foods that have a lot of that in it. So that would be another good thing, really good thing to get on.
Yeah, I definitely want to say there is a difference between plant omegas and like fish omegas.
Yes.
I know some people want to try and get it from flax seeds and chia seeds, and that's all fine and dandy. We need all the variety of
Right.
omegas, but the conversion from ALA to EPA and DHA is so low, so you really do need a fish oil, wild caught, or I mean, I've seen algae. Algae is a really good option too.
Yeah.
If you are trying to go that route, but I honestly recommend just fish oil.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Cod liver can be hard to take sometimes. I've tried Rosita's cod liver oil and it's pretty intense, but
Yeah.
it's
I
doable.
like the Carlson's has like a kids line and they have like a lemon and like a bubble gum flavor or something. And I think I grew up on that and so I can stomach it. And I think if you start your kids young even, then they'll be able to like stomach it. It's tough during pregnancy though because sometimes you're nauseous, but they do have the capsules
Right.
that I like too. Yeah.
Right. Um, that was a good one. I'm glad you brought that up. What other lifestyle factors are there? This could be anything from like environmental, our cleaning home products, our beauty products, exercise. I mean, I know you know that the list can go long and long and long, but
I think everybody has like their things that they're really convicted on, right? And so my things would be plastic in the home. That's a big thing that I think contributes to our toxins, especially if you're going to microwave in it or store food, freeze, reheat in it, that type of stuff. So eliminating all plastics. Get a glass water bottle or a stainless water bottle, carry that around instead of a plastic water bottle, and then eat out of, glass or ceramic dishes instead. So that would be one thing like in the kitchen. And then the other like piece is the beauty routine. And it's huge and it's, there's so much that goes into it, but find something that's a cleaner product. For me, I like to use clean makeup because it's going to go on my face every day. My son kisses my face and it's essentially eating it. And I think that's a big portion of it. What you put on your skin can be absorbed very quickly into your body, and it really plays a big role in that. I like, if you're local to Austin, there's a place down on South Lamar, it's called Well People, and they have a really, really clean line of makeup and just like body care stuff. And I really like their line. That's a great one to use because it's hard to get enough makeup. It's like you can't, for me at least. So that's a really good place to shop is that. And then, the shampoo, the toothpaste, all of that stuff. If you're putting it on you or you're taking it in you, then it needs to be free of chemicals, carcinogens, and all of that, nasty stuff that we use so frequently.
right. I know. And it seems so intimidating and thinking like, oh my gosh, that's like everything in my life. But even just starting with one thing at a time and giving you this time before you get pregnant to kind of start recycling out once you stop once it is over, I guess, when the bottle is empty, you can just buy something better. I feel like makeup's probably one of the hardest ones to find because it's either like doesn't work well or it still has questionable ingredients. So I feel like skincare in general, like a face wash, shampoo, conditioner, all that stuff's getting a little bit easier to find. I feel like as it's getting more known of beauty products affecting our endocrine system and stuff.
Yeah, I think women are becoming more aware of it. Especially deodorant, that's like getting like some big publicity because of the breast cancer link and everything like that. And that's a really tough one to find. Like, I'll admit, I probably bought like 30 natural deodorants, and, you know, I find one that I like, and then it, you know, I decided I don't like it a few months later. But that's another big one, is the deodorant too.
Yes, I am very lucky. And I think it has something to do with genetics. I'm pretty sure, because I did the genetic testing and it said something. But I don't need deodorant. I don't.
It's awesome.
Unless I like hardcore workout, but it's never that overwhelming stench.
Right.
Like if I hug someone, they smell, or they could smell me. But I am very lucky in that front, because I've heard of how hard it is to find a good deodorant.
Yeah, it is. And like,
do you have one that you?
Yeah, so I saw a Facebook ad for this one, and like, I always buy them because I'm always looking for the next best deodorant. But it's called Sway, and it's like a 2-part. It's like a liquid roll-on bottle, and then you like let it dry, and then there's like a little like powder that you put on afterwards, and it works really well, actually. So I like that one a lot.
Okay, I wonder why like they have such a I mean, obviously it's such a need in most cases,
right?
We've tried like Piper Y, and that has like activated charcoal in it. For my husband, I don't know, we've also tried a bunch, and I'm pretty sure there's one that he was okay with, but doesn't work as good as the others, I guess.
No, you're always gonna sweat with the natural deodorants, which is, you know,
natural, what we're supposed to do though.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's funny when we try to stop things that are naturally supposed to happen. I'm like, it doesn't work that way.
I know.
Okay, and what can be holding us back from an optimal pregnancy? Like something maybe that we can't control. Obviously, I do want to say that, like what we were talking about, diet and lifestyle, there's a lot, and can be like intimidating, but we know we live in a toxic world, and I feel like we need to control what we have control over. So when people are like, I just feel like I'm gonna die anyway, or like it's so polluted in the world, like why focus? Everything that you can change, you should. So what are some things maybe that we can't change? Yeah,
I think the genetic component of different things that you may have in your body. So like, I always bring up like MTHFR with pregnancy, because that's a genetic component. Not to say if you have MTHFR, you can't get pregnant, because that's absolutely not true. But if you have some type of genetic component like that, you need to know about it so you know how to properly manage it. So I think genes are something that are highly overlooked as far as like testing preconception. And you can really get a really good wide panel of what's going on with your body, and then you know exactly what to do, and that can improve your quality of life, and it can, you know, improve your chances of getting pregnant. So I like the company Genomics. They do a full gene testing. 23andMe is a really common one, but they really changed their profiles that they test for, so they don't cover everything.
You have to take it elsewhere to find like your MTHFR and stuff, your raw data.
Exactly. The genomics comes back, and it like shows everything that you have, and it shows you ways to manage it as well. So I think it's great to do it, even if you're just doing it at home without like a practitioner, you can really have some idea of what's going on. So I do like that test, and I think that that's something that is really wise to get tested before you get pregnant, just so you don't have to go through the heartache of maybe a lost baby or something like that, which is so common with the genetic like profiles and things like that.
Yeah, no, I have a MTHFR gene mutation, and I have 2 healthy pregnancies, and I thankfully didn't have to struggle. I never really struggled with miscarriages or anything. But a big part of like folate, like what you were talking about, is using those methylated forms is so important, because we eat like folic acid is in a lot of the processed foods, and that, and this really crummy supplements on the market, it can lead to just an over amount of folic acid in our body that we just can't do anything with.
Yeah, totally. And even like, not just for the pregnancy, but like postpartum as well, you were seeing the MTHFR mutation, and then taking folic acid during pregnancy linked to tongue ties and lip ties in babies. Then that leads to breastfeeding issues, and it's like this spiral of just like struggles, and that's the last thing you need after you deliver, is to, you know, struggle with breastfeeding or struggle with anything. And so that's another reason, is postpartum, it can help you out as well. It can help your baby out as well, to know kind of what you're dealing with beforehand.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, going back to diet real quick, I know that when, you know, we do get pregnant and there's morning sickness, how is Is there a way that you can kind of maneuver around that when you are going through like the first trimester and early stages, but still like trying to eat healthy?
Like the morning sickness and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, most women are like, I need bland crackers. And so I found there are some other alternatives, like other than like eating saltines. There's a brand, it's called Simple Mills, and it's made out of almond flour. And it's literally like maybe 5 ingredients in the crackers. And they're really good. Like
They're really good.
And so that's like, you know, an alternative. I think there's so many alternatives out there right now that don't feel like you're stuck and you don't have a choice, because there really is so much out there. For the morning sickness, you know, I mean, you got to find what works for you, and something that works for one mom may not work for the other. But it is important to take care of that so you can still fuel your body, because good nutrition, you mean, if you're throwing everything up,
I know. That's why you have to definitely like find out what works for you, and like don't feel bad if you can't eat a ton of leafy greens like in the beginning. I know it's so hard. I was so repulsed by like any veggie, which sucks. Thankfully I was not healthy at all, so like if I knew what I knew now, I would have probably cried and just like malnourished right now.
Right.
But like you said, there's good alternatives, and I feel like you have to shop more at like Whole Foods or Sprouts or health food store to find those. You can't just go to Walmart or even Target's. I think it depends which Target, but
it's like hit or miss. Yes.
Unfortunately, I'm more in Lakeway, and the Targets out here don't have like the best food selections.
Right.
So yeah, it definitely depends on the person, but I think it is possible to stick with the bland foods, whatever food sounds good, but make it healthier.
There was one, I actually just thought of this, but like those like green powders are out there all, you know, over, and everybody's, you know, into that. And I had this one mom that couldn't like keep anything down. She didn't want anything. So we started her on a greens powder, because like just mentally that gives you some peace of mind that like, oh, I'm getting some nutrition. And it was like a chocolate one, and I swear it tastes like chocolate milk. It's like really good. And so like, you know, that's something that, you know, if you're like, I don't want to eat anything, you know, then you could try something like that. I think that that's a really great idea. I think the green powders are awesome.
Do you know the name of that one?
It's Greens First is the brand. They have like a regular flavor, which is like minty, and then they have a chocolate one. It's like dark chocolate, and I love that one. It's so good.
I'm even always looking for those just to like add in the smoothie. I mean, they're so easy for the kids if you have picky eaters. That can be very, very helpful. I also wanted to ask about meat consumption as well. Obviously, quality is very important in that stage, but can you tell us a little bit about like just the meat consumption and preconception? Yeah,
definitely. I think it's important to have a wide variety. So don't just eat chicken every day. For quality, you're looking for grass-fed, organic, no antibiotics. When we talk about beef, not only do we want grass-fed, but we also want grass-finished. A lot of people don't realize that once they take the cow from the land into the slaughterhouse, a lot of times they just feed them GMO corn for those last 2 weeks. And so that's something really to focus on. I like buying my meat locally. And from a local place. My mom actually raises it, so I get most of my meat from her. But that's a great place to know, because then you can talk to the people that are actually like doing all the work, and you can figure out that. Eggs are great. I love eggs as far as the protein sources, because they are complete protein. They're going to have fat and protein, so it's like a double whammy. Eggs are perfect. And again, you want pasture raised. So, or a lot of times on the eggs, they're saying cage free, which sounds great, but it's like, it's 1,000 chickens packaged into one big cage, and they're still technically like cage free.
Or even free range. Free range is like that too. Like they're still packed in there.
That's why. Eggs are another good one to buy locally. That way you can see like, what are my chickens doing, you know? But protein is super important for conception, just because essentially in the beginning, the baby is made up of mostly protein. And so you're going to need that not only to maintain a healthy weight, but also to fuel the baby's growth. So that's a big portion of that as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then as a chiropractor, how does chiropractic help with optimizing the foundation of a healthy pregnancy?
Yeah, so a lot of people think of chiropractic for neck and back pain, right? And so it's great for that. But when we take it one step further, we're really looking at the overall function of the nervous system. And so every time we check, a patient's spine and we're looking at that, we're seeing how the nervous system is functioning optimally, because if the nerves that go to the reproductive system are not functioning like they should, then your body's not going to be able to maintain a healthy pregnancy, or whatever it is the desired result is. And so a lot of our patients will come to us and they've tried other means of getting pregnant and it just hasn't worked. And then we find out that they have some type of abnormal curve in their spine and their lower back, and it's compressing the nerves that go to their reproductive system. And if that can be addressed and fixed, then they can maintain a viable pregnancy.
Good to know. Good to know. I know you do think of chiropractic, like car accident or neck and back pain or something. Yeah. I wish I knew more about it when I was pregnant. I have scoliosis and I've had it since I was younger, but I wish I knew about that or more about chiropractic when I was pregnant.
Right. Yeah.
So then where can we find you too?
So we're in South Austin and practice with my husband. Mopac and William Cannon is where our office is. It's called Family Chiropractic of Austin. And we're always here to help. We love the whole families in the office. That's what we love to do. And I really love working with the moms and the babies. So you guys can always email me, call the office and talk with me if you have any questions or concerns. I'm always available for that.
That's awesome. Did you want to add anything else before we finish up?
Yeah, I do actually. If you're pregnant right now and you're wanting to have a more natural labor delivery, I would strongly recommend that you check out BirthFit. It's an incredible program that is really fully comprehensive in regards to nutrition and mindset and fitness and chiropractic as it relates to the pregnancy and postpartum period. It's a great resource. So I would definitely check that out.
Okay, what is it? I'll make sure to put it in the show notes.
It's BirthFit.
BirthFit.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.